Yeah, all right. Go on, fellas. Get around the piano. Let's have a good go. Come on, then. You ready? Come on, you lot. Come on, then.
Oh, 'tis our delight for the red and white. The Imps are here to stay. Oh, 'tis our delight for the red and white. The Imps are here to stay.
Evening, everybody. Had quite a few messages this evening about there not being a match day live. So what I wanted to do was just do a quick team news reaction video, really, just kind of capture that little bit of match day live, get some thoughts from you guys as well ahead of the game, and just see where we all are on it. I mean, after all, we're EFL Trophy semi-final. We're one game from Wembley. It's not very often we can actually say that. So yeah, here we go. Do excuse me if my Wi-Fi is a little bit patchy. It says I'm not getting very good signal, unfortunately, and I'm not quite sure why. So bear with me. If we do have a problem, let me know in the comments. So team news should be out at 5 o'clock. I do have a guest coming on as well. So Chris Lamin, my friend Chris from Rugby, he's going to join us very shortly to talk through the team news as well. So let's have a look how we're all feeling. Richard Cross, literally the last person to message me and ask me about Match Day Live. So Richard, there isn't a Match Day Live, but there is, whatever this happens to be, introduced in the bar, actually in the office, and it's a working office. My partner's working next to me and my smelly dog's at my feet. So with Richard, he says his head says Sunderland 3-1, his heart says Lincoln 1-0. Fair enough. Yep, definitely. I think our recent record against Sunderland, conceded 7, scored 1 in 2 games. Not good. So there we go. Miss Jackson, evening Gary, hope you're well. Following on from your video earlier, I don't care if fans there or not, any game at Wembley is a good thing. Yeah, I'll take that. Fair enough. Jacob, how you doing, pal? Hope you're well. Hello, Gary. Up the Imps indeed. So at this stage, Chris has finished his dinner and we're about 4 minutes away from the team news. So we'll bring him in just shortly. Actually, we've got Adam Leader first of all. There's a reason for no match day live, just decision based on Sky build-up. There's never one for the EFL Trophy, mate. We haven't done one for it at all. The only cup game that we did was Liverpool. Don't think we did any other League Cup or EFL Trophy games, just the FA Cup games. So if there was a final, who knows? Right, so let's bring Chris in now. I'll give him a second just to compose himself. I can see him shuffling towards the camera, breathing deeply. Here we go. How you doing, pal? All right.
Good evening. Yeah, very well, thank you.
Cool. So what sort of lineup are you expecting tonight, do you think?
I was thinking about this. I was hoping to kind of come here and say, I think this is definitely what's going to be happening. And I had no idea. Because on one hand, you kind of want to win the game. So you think we're going to play a strong side. But on the other hand, there's been a certain group of players that's kind of got us as far as we've got so far. So you potentially want to have a bit of loyalty towards them. But also the fact that we've got loads of games coming up. I was thinking earlier, actually, that there's a bit of a difference here in that compared to last time we was at this stage against Chelsea in terms of team selection. Because as much as we was fighting for the playoffs in that season, losing one match or not getting a positive result in the next match, I think if you offered most fans the option to win the next league game after it or win the semi-final to get us to Wembley for the very first time, I think the majority of us would have chosen to go to Wembley for the first time. Whereas this time, as big as the game is for the club, it's not as big as Championship football, and every game counts in the league. So if we was to give them the option of winning today or winning on Saturday, I think most of us would choose Saturday. Obviously, we'd rather have both. So I think with that in mind, I'll probably go for, I wouldn't say a weakened side, but a slightly changed side with the likes of Anthony Scully, Harry Anderson starting, etc. So yeah, I think Monsmer will start, possibly with Jackson to give Walsh a rest.
Yeah.
The rest of it's a bloody mystery, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, Regan Paul or Morgan Rogers, because they're obviously both cup tied. Cohen Bramall was a tough debut for him, wasn't it, on Saturday? Yeah. Do you think he'll be given a chance to get back on the horse, or do you think we'll go with Teo at left back? Gut
feeling is Teo for consistency. He understands the phases of play and the patterns of play. So if we have got again, inverted commas, weakened side ahead of him, it gives us kind of that playing out from the back. It gives us that consistency still. But again, it's a perfect opportunity for Cohen to kind of get back on the horse and put in a better performance.
Okay. Another point here as well. If it goes to penalties, I might have a heart attack, says James, hoping for a 2-0 win. I mean, I got pretty worked up with the whole penalties. I didn't think I cared a lot. What about yourself? Were you on the edge of your seat for that, Chris?
It's not the same. I was watching the game. I was thinking this is just a dress rehearsal for next week. It'd be nice to win. I was sat in it quite composed. Normally, I'm sat like right at the front of the sofa like this, and I was just kind of sat back with my legs up. And then it got to kind of the last 5-10 minutes, and I was like, I actually care about this. And then it got to penalties, and I couldn't look at the telly.
I think I was pretty much the same. I went upstairs and they asked me if I was all right. I can't even got a real sweat on in here. I felt like I had to go for a shower again before I went to bed, and I'd had one beforehand. So team news should be any minute. Just a couple of more comments. So Gaz stating all about players' chances of Wembley appearance and money. Not being able to go as fans is not making it. He's making it not as exciting as it should be, which again, I think a lot of people can generally concur with that. Ryan Whelan can see penalties after a 0-0, which I think there'll be goals, even though they're not great at home, and we're not bad away, are we? Evening, Ben. By the way, look, he's there. Afternoon, folks. So hello, Ben. So we've got a team here: Palmer, TJ Jackson, Monsmer, Eden, Jones, Grant, Anderson, Johnson, Scully, Hopper. Quickly before we go to the team news, which isn't through, does that? How do you think that looks?
That is a strong possibility. That's quite an offensive lineup, obviously, going like a 4-2-3-1, which I'm not sure we'll go with. I know it's an away tie, isn't it? So I'm not sure we'll do that from the start.
We are.
It could be interesting.
And we are ready.
Oh.
So the lineup is as follows: in goal, Alex Palmer. TJ Ioma at right back, Monsmer and Jackson in the middle, and Teo Eden at left back. Max Sanders gets his first start in holding midfield, with Conor McGrandles and George Grant seemingly attacking midfield. Grant will be the captain. And up front, Brennan Johnson, Anthony Scully, and Tom Hopper. And on the bench, Sam Long, James Jones, Cohen Bramall, Remy Howarth, and Sean Rowan. So there we go. So big talking points from that. First of all, I think the first one's got to be Max Sanders. What a game to make debut! Yeah,
fair play to the guy. Appleton must have some faith in him. Obviously, wouldn't have signed him if he didn't think he was good enough. But I think it's interesting to throw him in straight away because we've made the habit of signing players with potential recently, which is obviously a great habit to have. So to throw him in, thinking that he's kind of ready and raring to go now. I suppose it could go really well potentially if he plays incredibly well today. Then we've got a ready and waiting replacement for Bridcup for the next few weeks without having to worry about who plays there.
Now, what I would call an interesting fact, what other people might use the word interesting very loosely, is I seem to remember that the semi-final against Chelsea was another player's first appearance for Lincoln as well. Seem to think it was the first game Ryan Alsop played for us. Now, I might be wrong. But it'd be about the same time of year as well. He would have just joined on loan. I'm almost certain it came after the 2-2 draw at Swindon. So I'll leave Ben's comment up there because obviously Ben's got the full first team for anybody just tuning in. So if you are tuning in, that's not Ben guessing. That's Ben doing some research and typing it out, which I'll be honest has really surprised me. So fair play to him for that. I've got a laugh from the side of me. So we've got strong defence there, obviously quite strong going forward. No Harry Anderson, so you assume that surely there's got to be an injury situation there.
Yeah, I'd have expected Anderson to start really if he was able to do so. Certainly be on the bench. So the fact he's not there at all, you've got to assume that he's just not available.
Now
we've only got 5 on the bench. Did I see? Did you say? If I got that wrong?
Sorry.
We've only got 5 on the bench.
Yeah, Long, Jones, Bramall, Howarth, and Rowan. So only 4 outfield as well.
It's interesting. So he's clearly got a fair amount of faith in the starting 11 that's there at the moment, really.
Right. So we've now also got the Sunderland starting 11 in as well. So if you want to type that in your comments, absolutely brilliant. I would love it. It'd be a massive help. So they've got Lee Burge in goal. Now it's numbered like numerically rather than positionally, so it's anybody's guess. Bailey Wright, Max Power, Charlie White, Lyndon Gooch, Luke O'Nien, Josh Scowen, Grant Ledbetter, Dan Neal, Callum McFadden, and Aidan McGeady.
Strongest 11 for them then, isn't it?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, White got 4 at the weekend. McGeady must be on 5 figures.
McGeady got all 4 assists for White's 4 goals on the weekend as well.
McGeady did, yes, yeah. So, I mean, it's strong side. Josh Scowen in midfield, obviously, been played at the championship level as well. On the bench, Conor McLaughlin, Chris Maguire, Remy Matthews, Aidan O'Brien, Jack Diamond, Jordan Jones, and Patrick Ullman. So they've literally put their full first team squad out, haven't they?
They want to win. Obviously, we want to win, but our lineup's certainly a bit slightly more reserved, isn't it, from what we would class as probably our strongest 11. So yeah, that makes it all the tougher, but also makes it all the more of an achievement if we get through it, which I
interesting comments on their Twitter. Somebody's saying Luke O'Nine's playing as a centre half, so they're going to get spanked with corners and free kicks because the defence has got no height at all.
Are they playing 3 at the back then? Because I know O'Nine only plays centre mid or right wing back.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Power and right, centre back, possibly O'Nine, McFadden on either side. So O'Nine might be playing full back with Bailey Wright and Max Power at centre back, is what somebody else is suggesting.
That would make more sense, really. They'll probably go for
Power as a centre back.
Yeah, still neither of them are you'd expect to be kind of standard centre halves. I can imagine Power more than O'Nine just because he's a bit more aggressive, isn't he? But who knows? We'll take that as a positive.
I think it's interesting that we've got a team here with Aidan McGeady and Grant Ledbetter and Josh Gowan and Lyndon Gooch and Charlie White, and we're picking the one fault.
Yeah, you've got to cling onto those little glimmers, haven't you? Yeah, it's that front five. That's a very, very dangerous front five, especially with the form they've been on recently. You know, I mean, 6 months ago we said Charlie White's starting, we'd probably go, oh well. But he's been absolutely on it recently. He's kind of refound his form. He found other clubs, and it'll be tough. But you know, a squad similar to the one we've got out today has come through as stern a test this season already. So keep the faith, Gareth. We'll be fine.
Sunderland would be one of the bigger, would be the easier draw, Sunderland away. But in actual fact, Oxford played a weakened side yesterday. Tranmere, obviously, a League Two side. Now, with hindsight, probably this is the tie that we.
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it? I was with you. I was thinking that I don't know. Oxford playing a weakened side is slightly surprising because I thought that they want to get themselves to the final and win it. I know they've got eyes on promotion again, but I kind of felt that they was in the same sort of position that we was in, as I mentioned, that we were in when we won it. We were going into this with a huge chance of getting to a final, and also with a chance of getting into playoffs as well. You'd have thought that they'd put a strong side out, but it came back to bite them, didn't it?
It did. Back to our side, we've got quite a bit of pace in the wide areas. Big night for Anthony Scully, do you think?
Hope so. Yeah, he's got the knack of finding those little pockets, hasn't he, and getting into the areas that we always seem to need a player. So I know Appleton said in his press conference, was it yesterday possibly, about he'd like to see the stat for the amount of balls that get whipped across the box just for a tap in, but there's no one there. The amount of times that we work it into wide areas and get it across and there's no one there. Anthony Scully's normally there when he plays. So yeah, I'm hopeful that he'll get right place, right time, and that'll do us nicely. Thank you very much.
Obviously, Stuart quite quiet on the win. I mean, with that side, Lyndon Gooch, Aidan McGeady. But to be fair, he is the goal threat. I mean, we've struggled though, haven't we, against strikers like Wyke and obviously John Marquis springs to mind as well. That kind of fox in the box has caused problems. Dion Charles, arguably to a degree as well. If a player can score goals on a regular basis, he tends to score past us as well.
Yeah, Wyke is the sort of striker that can't. I don't think he can create something for himself, though. I'd say that he's getting good service, probably similar. Since Lee Johnson's gone there, they've certainly been playing a lot better, a lot more openly, and creating more chances, which has given Wyke more opportunity to finish them off. I agree with Stuart there. I think if we can keep him quiet, that allows us to win the game. But I think keeping him quiet is more about stopping his service rather than it is about kind of marking him out of the game. I think if we keep on the kind of the three behind, if we can nullify them somehow, McGeady, of course, being the obvious threat, then I think we've got the better chance that way.
I suppose fullbacks, regular fullbacks in is going to help as well. Interesting question here that I'll get your steer on. I'll give my opinion first. It's from Richard Cross. He says, "What's your opinion on the judge versus referee situation?" Now, I don't know if you've seen this or not, Chris, but for people who haven't seen it, late last night in the Ipswich game, I think it was Ipswich Northampton, Alan Judge was fouled or dived. The referee went over to him. He remonstrated, and the referee stuck his face right in. right in Judge's face. It looked like he squared up to him. I mean, personally, it had a bit of the edge of the Kalina about it to me, but I didn't see anything majorly wrong. But where do you come from that, having played as well, Chris?
Yeah, I've seen it, and I agree 100% with you. I think fair play. It gives the referee a massive authority. It might create a bit more respect. I think it's a great comparison to Kalina. No one met with him, did they? Just that stare was enough to put you off. Yeah, I know I only play Sundays now, but if I had a referee on a Sunday morning that was actually made a decision and stuck to it, and was forceful in a decision, I think all the players would be really respectful of it. To be honest, I don't know what happened after that. I don't know how late on in the game the incident was, and kind of what the reaction was after that, and how well behaved everyone was. But I can only imagine it was positive in that regard.
Seen it. Can I bring that in? So if you haven't seen it, that was the situation. It looked a lot worse than it was.
I think that snapshot makes it look a little bit worse than it actually was.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. So
fair play to you. I don't like referees. I don't swear at them. I have a go at them on the football pitch and when I'm watching. So I might think twice now if someone can give it back to me.
Right, Chris, thank you very much for your time, mate. It's been great to have you on.
Thanks for coming up.
Analysed as well. Sam always gets me to do a prediction. What's yours?
Heart or head or both?
Yeah, you can only pick one.
I can only pick one. I'm going to go for 1-1 win on pens.
Sadly, having seen the two teams, I'm going to go for 2-1 Sunderland. So don't put your money on it. So, Chris, thanks a lot, mate. I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much. Take it easy.
Cheers. Okay, everybody, thank you for watching as well. That's the team news. You've got it now. You heard it here first, or you probably didn't. You read it on Twitter first. Enjoy the game, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers. Bye.